It's Saturday morning, we're in Baudette, Minnesota. There's a giant fish behind me, and we're heading off to Canada and the northwest angle. Come along with us as we go around the edges. And we are on the road, heading to Canada and the northwest angle, which is part of the United States. Interesting story about the northwest angle. It was caused by a disagreement between the British and the Americans, and regarding where the border is, and at that point they had decided that Lake of the Woods should be divided in half by the border. Well, what they didn't know is that the map that they had was wrong, and so the northwest angle exists. There's been talks over the last couple hundred of years to try to restore that little part of Canada to Canada. But the people who live there, they are insisting that they are Minnesotans and Americans, and they do not want to join Canada. So I have a feeling that eventually, as the population kind of dies out there, that'll probably be restored to Canada at some point, and the border will return to the 49th parallel. But for now, that is the northernmost point of the contiguous United States. But is it really contiguous when you have to cross water to get there? Why is that not like Alaska? I don't know. But anyway, that's where we're heading today. You can see it's a beautiful day for it. It's still cold out. It's still in the upper 30s at the moment, but it is supposed to be in the upper 40s later today. So yeah, I'm getting a late start. It's almost 11. So yeah, that's just me being disorganized. Anyhow, yeah, this is what it looks like here, and we're not particularly close to the border, but we are pretty much as close to the border as we can get without going on private property. So yeah, there you go. The border is about 5 miles to my right, and I'll talk to you again as we're getting nearer to the border. I will not be filming my way through the border once again, so yeah, you know the drill. Talk to you soon. Train. Wish I could turn this thing. Having just crossed the Canadian border, we are now in Manitoba. Next stop will be probably geocache in the next town up, and then onward to the northwest angle. Manitoba, welcome, bienvenue. This looks just like Minnesota. Say it's a little bit muddy up here. excellent argument for having a four-wheel drive vehicle up here. Like this is what the road is going to be like for the next 20 miles.
Meters, turn right onto Manitoba 525 East. Right onto Manitoba 525 East. Continue on Manitoba 525 East for 10 kilometers.
Welcome to the United States.
Welcome to the United States of America.
Now you might wonder why there's no guard booth here, and that's because, well, it's not really required. However, there is a video phone that you need to call and let them know that you've arrived. And likewise, when you leave, you'll need to let them know that you've left. I'm probably not going to be in the angle for all that long, just long enough to go to the northernmost point and maybe grab something to eat while I'm up here. But yeah, it's all pretty relaxed up here. There's obviously, you don't have to go through security or anything to get in, but you've already done that to get into the country, into Canada. So, but there are numerous places in the angle where you can contact the relevant authorities to let them know that you've entered or left. So that's what we're gonna do. I like the informational signs they have that are, the type is too small for you to actually read it while you're driving at speed. It's almost as though they want you to drive really slow through here. So welcome to Jim's Corner. Behind me is the booth for the customs. So here they don't have a traditional border, as you know, because we talked about that earlier. But here we have a booth where you have to go, and they have like an iPad in there to communicate with customs, let them know what you're doing, give them your personal information. And there's also a phone there for when you leave, so you can contact Canadian authorities when you leave. So that's basically what you have to deal with to come and go here. But I mean, all things considered, it moves pretty well, and as long as there's not a big long line of people, it's not too bad. So anyway, so that's thought I'd appreciate a look around here. We have a sort of a parking area, and then over here we have some informational signs about the northwest angle, and a map explains where everything is up here, and where all the islands are. Obviously, a lot of people that come up here to fish, so they're these are kind of the places where people would go fishing or camping, so forth. And of course, down here in the southern part here, some of these are places where a boat would drop people off coming in from the other side of the water. All these waters around here are U.S. waters, so if you come by boat, you don't have to go through this whole customs thing. It's only people who come in by road. All right, so let's move along. And we are here, the northernmost contiguous part of the United States. You don't get too much more around the edges than that. You can see this buoy is very similar to the marker down at the southernmost contiguous point, which is the buoy down in Key West, Florida. Other contiguous points are available, but I'm not led to believe that they have buoys like this. So this is sort of the essence of what Around the Edges is about. So now that we've seen that, let's move on. See just here, there's another port of entry booth. This is the port of entry here if you come in over here at this dock. So there are several of these things scattered around the northwest angle. I think there's about 4 of them here. And over here we have a fish cleaning stand, and so just everything you need. Customs booth, fish cleaning. This is why you get nervous driving in places like this. I've been seeing deer kind of all along, but you get one jumping into the road right before you get there. Not cool, not cool. Deer, groundhogs, it's all a mess if you don't notice them at first. Okay, well that's been a pretty nice visit to the northwest angle, and I think I'm ready to head back to the main part of the United States now. So here we are at Jim's Corner, and I've got to talk to Canadian Customs, and then I will be on my way. Hopefully there won't be a big line.
Take the next right on Angle Road Northwest.
I don't see anybody waiting, so there we go. go, back into Canada.
Continue on Manitoba 525 west for 6 miles. Welcome to Canada.
Now back down that muddy, splashy road back to the States. And with that, we are back in the States. Sometimes people complain about the security at the borders. I always say that I've had nothing but friendly, professional people at these border crossings. Now, I still do have one more to do on this trip, but I'm not expecting anything different there. So, kudos to the Canadian Border Patrol and also to the U.S. Customs Service for doing what they do, because I'm sure that it's kind of a thankless job. I'm really, I have to say, very satisfied with the professionalism that I've encountered, and I'm still reluctant to film because I don't want to cause any misunderstandings. But they're good folks, and hopefully I won't have any reason to excise this from the finished version of this video. All right, back to the content.